man, that's good news for you. Hey, everybody, gather near. The doctor's in the house, so lend him your ear. The things he can say might even make your day. He might even help your pain go away. The doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house. Doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. The doctor is in the house.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the doctor is in the house. Welcome, everybody. This is Dr. Ron, host of Dr. Ron Unfiltered, Uncensored, bringing you episode number 632, which I am calling the Cholesterol Derangement Syndrome. The big fat lie, you've heard it before. Your cholesterol is too high, but what if I told you the goalposts have been moving over and over and over again, not because of science, but maybe because of sales? So we're going to jump into that just in a second, but I do want to tell you, after I check my microphone here, I do want to tell you that on Tuesday will be the second time that Dr. Wong will be joining us on a podcast that we call The Real Health Rebellion Radio. And it is streamed live on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays Eastern Standard Time. And this program here today is important, and we will build on it on Tuesday with Dr. Will Wong, who is an incredible individual. So with that being said, let's jump into this. So welcome back. So we're going to dive into one of the greatest, and these are my opinions now, medical deception of our time. And you've heard of how many times have you heard your cholesterol is too high? What if I told you the goalposts have been moving? And let's try and figure out why. In the 1950s, there was a man named Ansel Keys. He published a famous study called the 7-Country Study. He claimed to show a direct link between fat intake, cholesterol, and heart disease. But he didn't tell you, and what he didn't tell you was he cherry-picked the data. He ignored countries where people ate plenty of fat but had low heart disease. I think there were 16 countries, and he ended up just cherry-picking 7. That was a flawed study, but it became the foundation of a 70-year campaign of fear, the idea that fat and cholesterol are villains. It shaped public health policy. It fueled low-fat craze. It opened the floodgates for a brand of drugs called the statins. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When the first cholesterol-lowering guidelines came out in the 1980s, the normal cholesterol limit was 240. Then it dropped to 200. Then LDL was supposed to be 100, under 130. Now we're told it should be under 100 or even under 70 if you've ever sneezed near a cardiologist. Every few years, the numbers go down, and with every drop, the number of people labeled at risk goes up. Is that a coincidence, or is that a business model? 2 personal notes. When I was in medical school in the early 60s, the normal cholesterol was 200 plus your age. When I was having a beer in Malaga, Spain, there was a sign on the menu that said 24 bottles of beer in a case, 24 hours in a day. Is that a coincidence? So, was the drop in the number a coincidence? Well, if you follow the money for a second, you'll find that statins are a multi-$100 billion industry. Lipitor alone made Pfizer over $125 billion before it became generic. So if you can redefine what is normal, guess what? You redefine the market. Bingo. Lower the number, create more patients. More patients mean more prescriptions. And suddenly, you're not practicing medicine, you're running a subscription service. And most doctors, bless their little hearts, they're just following the guidelines written by panels loaded with pharmaceutical ties. I'm sorry to say that a lot of physicians do not critically think about cholesterol and what it actually does. Now let's just talk about it. What does cholesterol do? It isn't a poison. You don't have a statin deficiency. It is a life-saving molecule. It is the building block of your cell membranes, the structure that keeps your cells alive. It's the building block of hormones like testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, and vitamin D. It's the building block of bile acids. They digest your fats. And yes, it's essential for your brain. 25% of all your cholesterol is in your brain. So when you take a drug that blocks your body's ability to make cholesterol, you're not just lowering a number, you're interfering with your life. Now, a little bit more about the chemistry of this, because there's particle sizes that a lot of physicians don't talk about. And if they talk about it, they seem not to care about them. So we have LDL, HDL, and beyond that. So let's make it simple. LDL is a low-density lipoprotein. It's often called, quote, the bad cholesterol, unquote. But guess what? It's not even cholesterol. It's a carrier truck. It delivers cholesterol and fat to your tissues so your body can repair itself, build on itself, and make hormones. So LDL, low-density lipoprotein. So that's supposed to be the bad guy. So now we have the HDL, high-density lipoprotein. Again, this is the cleanup crew. It takes excess cholesterol back to the liver for recycling. So in my opinion, it's not about the good guys versus the bad guys. It's about balance. It's about context. And guess what? There's more to this story. This is the beyond part. There are subtypes of LDL. The large, fluffy ones, generally, they are harmless. There's the small, dense LDL ones. These can be damaging if there is inflammation. And remember, my premise for the past 3 years has been the basis of most chronic diseases is inflammation. So what makes LDL dangerous? No, it's not just because it's there, but it is when it is oxidized. When LDL particles are oxidized by inflammation, or they're oxidized by toxins or sugar, that's when they cause trouble. So the problem isn't high cholesterol. The problem is a body that's on fire. How does it get on fire? From processed foods, from adulterated seed oils, from sugar, from chronic stress. Geez, I get so upset with this, with all this, because nobody talks about the cause of the cholesterol being high. It's high to help you, not to kill you. Get to the root cause of the problem. Stress, adulterated seed oils, sugar, highly processed and ultra-processed foods. That's what puts your body on fire. And what does the research show? Well, here's the bombshell, folks. There's a mountain of research showing that high LDL is not always bad. And in many cases, I guess I could be tarred and feathered. It's protective. There are studies from Europe, Japan, and even the flawed Framingham follow-up show people over 60 with higher LDL levels, listen to this, live longer. Those with low cholesterol have higher rates of infection, cancer, and cognitive decline. And many centenarians, folks, that's people over 100, They have LDL levels that would make your doctor have a panic attack. One large meta-analysis published in the British medical journal Open found that older adults with high LDL had better longevity than those with low LDL. You say, Doc, why is that? It's because cholesterol plays a crucial role in immune defense and repair. So lowering it too far can actually weaken you. We'll repeat all this on Tuesday. I'm sure Dr. Wong will get into it. So what's the real derangement, Dr. Ron? So when we talk about cholesterol derangement, the real derangement isn't in your blood. The derangement is the medical system. We turned a natural molecule into a disease. We've made millions afraid of eggs, butter, and steak, while heart disease rates keep climbing. And we've ignored the root cause: inflammation, oxidative stress, toxic seed oils, electromagnetic fields, which are inflammatory, sedentary lifestyle, and nutrient deficiency. We are obese but nutrient deficient. Cholesterol should be thought of as the firefighter, not the fire. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease is like blaming firefighters for being at the fire. Cholesterol is there to put the fire out, ladies and gentlemen. What can you do? What can you do? Well, number one, reduce inflammation. Cut out the adulterated seed oils, cut out the processed foods, and cut out the sugar. You know what? Go back to eating real food. Eggs, fish, grass-fed meats, olive oil, avocados, and plenty of vegetables. Get rid of the canola oils, the seed oils. Think about eggs for a second. A soft-boiled egg, not really exposed to a lot of oxygen in the air. Sunny side up a little bit, over easy, more. The most exposed oxygen is a scrambled egg. Right? It's broken up into little pieces and oxygen can get at it. So eat your eggs as close to nature as possible. So we want to reduce inflammation, eat real food, get sunlight. It naturally balances our cholesterol metabolism. Remember, if you've been a listener to me, avoiding sunlight has the same mortality as smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Get some sunlight. Move your body. Exercise raises HDL and lowers oxidation. Try to help yourself manage stress. Go to a yoga class, a Tai Chi, Qigong. Cortisol imbalance wrecks your lipid profile. And restorative sleep. That's when your liver and brain detoxify cholesterol byproducts. And rarely important, question the numbers. Your health is not a lab value. It's how your body functions. Reduce inflammation, eat real foods, get sunlight, move your body, manage stress, get a good night's sleep, and question the numbers. So the next time somebody tells you your cholesterol is too high, ask them, too high for what? And under your breath, you can say, what, for drug sales or for my health? My opinion is that this cholesterol is a marketing invention. And if you've been labeled with it, you deserve the truth. And I'm here because I don't filter the truth. If you're interested in a bibliography for this program, drop me a line at docronradio@gmail.com. docronradio@gmail.com. I'll send you a PDF reference list. Wow, I just got back to this page. Hey, thank you guys. I see somebody from the Porcupine Podcast. Well, here's a question. I'll take time to answer this. What happens after the heart attack? Again, get to the cause. We always want to get to the root cause of the problem. Your cholesterol might be high after a heart attack, but what made it high? Was it inflammation? Was it heavy metal poisoning? What was the root cause? That's always the question we have to ask in medicine. What is the root? What caused the cholesterol to be high? Cholesterol we're born with it. It's there for a reason. Now, there are some genetic diseases I can't deny, but they're really tiny. So we have to find out after the heart attack, do you need a lifestyle change? Do you have to stop smoking, stop drinking alcohol? And can it be hereditary? The answer is yes, but that's really in a small percentage of people. I wasn't prepared for this, but I did have a study that I read recently that talked about cholesterol pills protecting your brain from dementia. And it was mainly with this genetic malformation. And it did not apply to statins or the PCSK9 inhibitors or the CETP drugs. It's just a couple of special drugs that I'm sure you will be hearing about that they'll want to push. But yeah, it can be hereditary, but a small part, and it probably doesn't help if you start them later in life. Well, uh, we're getting questions here about blocked arteries. Well, here we go. Inflammation, in my opinion, affects the endothelium of the coronary artery, say. And if we don't get rid of the inflammation, what does your body want to do? It wants to heal that inflammation. So what does it do? It keeps putting cholesterol on it to heal it. Now, you can put a stent in there. You can dilate it. But again, you have to have lifestyle changes, get rid of the inflammation, get rid of the stress. And there's good cholesterol. We'll talk more about the Framingham study on Tuesday, but that was incredible. And what it showed, it was launched in 1948, long-term study on cardiovascular diseases. And it originally helped establish a link between high cholesterol and heart disease. But later on, we found that was not the real story. And that everything changed in 1987 after 30 years. And we'll go into this, but I will tell you that over age 50, there was no increased overall mortality that was observed either with high or low cholesterol levels. In fact, falling cholesterol levels were directly associated with higher mortality. That's the Framingham study. So lower is not always better, especially as you get older. Now, there is a caveat. Under 50, higher cholesterol was associated with increased cardiovascular mortality. Okay, but that's where you have to get to the cause. That's where you have to get down and find the root cause. Geez, I wasn't prepared for you, sir, but I'm glad you popped in there. But this subject has bugged me for years. I had since I'm going to stay on longer, let's tell you, I had a relative, perfectly healthy, in her late 70s, put on a statin drug. Well, she ended up with Parkinson's disease. She ended up with diabetes. Recently, I accompanied someone to a cardiologist who wanted to put her on a drug called Leqvio. Well, when I started looking at the studies, every one of them had a whole list of conflicts of interest, COIs. Almost every author either worked for or owned stock in the company that wrote the papers. And as you get older, this woman was in her 80s, it showed that it wasn't worth the time or expense. It had to be given by an injection, but only 2 or 3 times a year, but still you have to go for an infusion. Everything, we always have to ask a lot of questions. So, well, I hope I gave you some input. I'm working out, change my diet. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave your question about what you can substitute. I guess you mean you're taking statins for Dr. Will Wong. And I know one of his answers is going to be to take a enzyme called Zyme Essence. It's the strongest enzyme in the world. Okay. He makes it. His company makes it. But when I studied in Germany with Hans Nieper, we were using enzymes, but you had to take 30 pills to get, like, I think it's 30 might be equal to 1 or 2 of his. And these enzymes clean up fibrosis, break up fibrin clots. They're incredible. On Tuesday, when I get the chance, I will ask him about zymesins and statins. But I think, lifestyle changes, a good attitude, and personally, there are supplements I would recommend. But, sir, I'm going to save that for Tuesday, and zymesins is one of them. And there is a red yeast. There's lots of great studies on red yeast these days. In fact, I talked to an endocrinologist in southern Spain who has having great results with red yeast tablets. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dr. Ron. Hey, thank you. Facts Porcupine Podcast. Thank you for jumping in there. Hope I answered most of your questions. I know I hedged on the last one, but we'll get to that. It's on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on YouTube. The channel is The Real Health Rebellion Radio. The Real Health Rebellion Radio. And I have my co-host, Dr. Jerry, and our guest, Dr. Will Wong. And the week after that, we will have the world expert on seed oils, Brian Peskin, who pointed out about adulterated seed oils years and years ago, and he was called a conspiracy theorist. He talked about oxidation in seed oils. Well, it turns out that this MIT engineer was right all along. So that'll be 2 weeks from Tuesday. So 2 weeks from Tuesday, and it's a new podcast that Dr. Jerry and I started. It's a video podcast, and we will also open that up to questions. So thank you, sir, for listening. This is Dr. Ron. I have a great friend who used to play for a great country western music star, and he recorded a song that I wrote. So we're going to go home, and this program will air on Monday at 10 o'clock on Podbean, Podbean. If you have any questions, please send them to me at docronradio@gmail.com. And we'll see you live on Tuesday. God bless. Have a good day.
Hey, everybody. Dr. Ron's finished for today. I hope you got some good wisdom for what the man had to say. If it's all about good health, he's the man you got to see. He has a lot more answers for you. So tune in next week when the doctor is in the house. Or when the doctor is in the house. And let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. I'm sure he can tell you just what to do. The doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. So if you have a pain, call the doctor. If you have a strain, call the doctor. Let the doctor know what's bothering you. When the doctor is in the house. The doctor is in the house. See you next week.